What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 5th day of July. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July, saw some boom booms go off in the sky. Here we are, $62.7 thousand, 10 hours left in this glorious day, the 5th day of July. And here we are. Here we are, moving up over the past few days. You guys know how I feel. I mean, I feel like this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways. I do not trust weekend pumps. Friday was part of the weekend. We had a long weekend, including Friday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've had 2 days in a row that have pumped. Today we're moving down a little bit, but we're still up over the weekend. So anytime we pump over the weekend, I typically expect a dump. There are plenty of instances in Bitcoin's history where it pumps over the weekend and it continues to pump over the week. And then it continues to pump and continues to pump. You never go back down to those areas. That happens. That often happens more so in a bull market, but still, it does happen. It's happened even in bear markets. Typically, even if you do continue to pump, you will come back down and fill that weekend pump inevitably. I want to go over this just real quick. Let's show you, right? So here last week, where were we? Saturday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday we dumped. Saturday, Sunday we dumped. We had, and it wasn't really a dump, right? But Saturday, Sunday we moved down. What do we do for the rest of the week? We actually moved up. By Friday, by that close, we were actually up, right? Or by Thursday, because Friday technically was part of the weekend, we were up. The week before, Saturday here, Sunday here, we actually moved up, and then we dumped down, right? We look back here, Saturday, Sunday we were up, and then we dumped down. All the way up here, Saturday, Sunday, we moved up and then we dumped down. That's just typically what happens. It's not always the case. It doesn't have to be now. But with that premise in mind, let's build our analysis and see what we can come up with here on this lovely Sunday morning for me, but it might be the afternoon for some of you, depending on where you are in the world. 1 hour time frame. 55 minutes left. Let's see. Kind of looks like a head and shoulders, doesn't it? It kind of does, honestly. Like a slanted head and shoulders. Let's just see here how we can fudge this a little bit. Let's just see how this looks. It's not perfect. Maybe we come up a little bit more. The volume's there. It does look like a head and shoulders pattern. I'll give you that. We can move up higher. Just because we've moved up over the weekend doesn't mean we have to dump down right now. Oftentimes, you'll see a move up over the weekend, and that continues into Monday or Tuesday, and then we dump down over the week, right? Sometimes you pump into Saturday, Sunday, and then you dump immediately on Monday or even on Sunday. So anything can happen. But 62.6K right now, 1 hour RSI. You were bullish, very bullish for a while. Now you're coming down a little bit. I would still say overall you're in a bullish configuration. I would wait for some kind of move up here or even into the overbought zone and to get some bearish divergence or something like that before we get bearish. I'm not saying that we have to wait for bearish divergence to show itself before we get bearish. I would think some type of move back up to this area is what's required before we really start to move down. But we look at this here on the 1 hour, and it took us a second to catch on, right? I mean, I thought that we were going to move down. I thought we were not move down like as in a lower low, just move down and see some type of correction, man. Some type of correction back down to 59.60K, right around until here, and then we caught on that we'd pump up to about 64K. I did think that we'd move up a little bit higher, to be fair. I thought that we might, and that might be exactly what we do. Perhaps we pump up to 64, 64 and a half. That's where this next overbought rally comes in. We form some bearish divergence, and then we top off. But either way, what we've caught on to is that this is rounding off. You can see it is rounding off. Even if we move up like this, we're still rounding off, right? To some degree. Maybe not if we go all the way up to 65K, but just something up here. This rounding of the top, this decaying of the volume, typically, again, not always, typically, creates a rather rapid drop. You'll see like some type of rapid shift in the price of Bitcoin itself. Stochastics finding resistance here at the 50 is not good, but you still have a chance to move up. There's 52 minutes left in this 1 hour. I'm not worried about it. The MACD overall looks bullish, and this is exactly where you'd expect to bounce. So I'm going to call for a bounce here. The RSI, you have lower lows in the RSI. You do have lower lows in the price. It's neutral, and you're in an overall bullish environment, so we're going to maintain that bullish stance. I'm not seeing enough to convince me that we're going down just yet. 4-hour time frame here, looking at this from a high to low perspective. High here, low there. We're not going to take the fake out low. You got very close, but you didn't hit your golden ratio. You did, however, come back and find support at your 0.5. This, guys, this makes me think that we could not only reach the golden ratio zone, maybe we do, but that we could go higher as well. It is possible that we go higher. Let's look and see what our liquidation levels are looking like. Longs still outweighing shorts dramatically over the past week. Still, though, this pocket of shorts gets cleared out at about 64.5, 65K. So that hasn't changed too much. Over the past 30 days, there are still a ton of shorts that get cleared out between here and, yeah, 64.5K. And over the past day, I mean, it's the weekend, so this won't be as significant. It's pretty tit for tat. On the weekends, in bullish, bearish environments, we typically see an even weight on these shorts and longs. The shorts do clear out at about 64.7K, though, over the last 24 hours. So there are a lot of liquidations to be had there. Let's look at the heat map. Might give us a different look. I like to use the heat map. 24 hours is nice sometimes, especially if you're like day trading, but weekly time frame I think is more helpful, even if you're day trading or swing trading or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you look at this, there's a little pocket here, right? From here and here, there's some heat up in that 64.5K area. There is. We could clear that out, but there's a lot of heat back down here, guys, down at around, I mean, really going all the way down to 58K. There's a lot. And we could clear out most of this down at about 59K. It's very possible that we do that. We are consolidating overall, right? We are in this consolidation range overall. It is more than acceptable for the price to come up here, form a lower high, and then from there come down and form a lower low. And we're still not breaking out to the downside. We're like, we find support somewhere down here, a slightly lower low, just like we did before, and then we move up. We still haven't really confirmed that this is the low. This relative low of the consolidation range is more or less confirmed, I think, once we get above this high. Right? And then we get above this high, we're looking for 70K, 74K, something in that range. But it is completely possible that we see a lower high here, we get a higher low, and we keep consolidating downward like this. You know, that is more than acceptable to assume. I just don't think that right now in this polarized environment that what we're going to see is price action go like this or like this, right? We're going to, every pump gets dumped, every dump gets pumped. That's what we're going to do. We're consolidating. 4-hour time frame, looking at these indicators, the RSI looks good. It doesn't look bad. It looks good. There's no signs of weakness yet. We make another push higher, another attempt higher to that 64, 65K area. We will have bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. We'll probably have it on the stochastics as well. Stochastics look good. The MACD does have bearish divergence. We've actually crossed red right now. That's the only point of concern, I suppose, would be on the 4-hour MACD. We've had bullish divergence here in the 4-hour MACD right here. And we still went a little bit lower. So could we go a little bit higher? Sure. I think we could go a little bit higher. You know, maybe we see something exactly like this, but to the upside. If I remember correctly, actually, let's go back. Look at this, right? Whenever we started to consolidate here back in February, you guys remember how Bart-like this all was, right? You move up, then it's like a Bart, then you move down, right? And then let's see. I mean, we would move down here. It's not really a bar. It's like a kind of just a regular recovery, whatever. Am I getting this wrong? Am I confusing it with something else? We did have some Barts here. Little Bart there, little Bart there, little Bart there, little Bart at the bottom as well. And then Bart-like up here, but it kept persisting. I remember that. Maybe it was the other drop that had, yeah, this is where all the Barts were. And maybe it was on the 1-hour instead of the 4-hour. But still, in these initial, all I'm trying to say is that in these initial phases of a consolidation phase, we do see Barts form, you know, moving up, moving down, just like that. Moving, you know, these little square kind of movements. Here we are at the base of our Bart here. Maybe we're forming an upper or a bearish Bart, and then we're going to come back down. I don't know. It's just a theory. It's just a guess. But I'm not convinced that we're ready to move down just yet. I do believe that we will move down to 59K, something below 60K. I mean, even potentially below 59K. And again, added to that, it is possible that we do see a lower low and still we remain consolidating in this area. So just be prepared for anything. I wouldn't think that a breakdown below this low means that Bitcoin's going below 50K right now. I don't think that we're seeing a big breakout to the downside. I don't think that a move above this high means that the bull market's on, the bear market's over. I don't think it's any of that. I think any move from here, whether it's up or down, will get fed back into, and we're just consolidating. That's really what the main thought is here. Daily time frame. Stochastics look good. They look good, more or less, honestly. They look pretty good. The RSI, I don't like the higher high with the lower high. There is some hidden bearish divergence there, but if today closes red, if today closes green, then that hidden divergence has a chance to go away. The MACD looks decent. It is bearish overall, but it looks decent. I don't know, you got some good things going for you. I wouldn't think that you top off here in the RSI or in the stochastics, so I would assume you go higher. A little bit higher from here. You've got this prior area of support. Not always did you find support here, but pretty consistently you did. That's right there at 66K. $886, that's a bit high. Maybe you don't go that high. Let's see. Yeah, maybe the 786. Maybe you interact with this low and this low here. The 786 right there at about 65K. I could see it. I mean, there's a lot of liquidations to be had between here and that 64.7K area, you know, and as we move up higher, those liquidations get pushed back. So 65K, I could see it. I don't think that we're selling off just yet. We might push higher to 64, 65K. But when we do sell off, if it's from here or if it's from that higher price, like I'm predicting, we should move back, I would think, at least below 60K, probably closer to 59K. If we hold a higher low, cool. Maybe we come up and we'll form a higher high. We'll get above this. We'll run to 70K. If not, if we actually see a lower low here, 70K and above might be off the table until the bear market's over. And we might just be downward consolidating until we're ready to break out sometime in August or later this month of July. At any rate, that's all my thoughts, all on the table, all for you to enjoy. I hope you had a good time. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. No, we don't have bullish divergence on the weekly. Yes. This low is lower than this low. But this low is also lower than this low. There's no bullish divergence there, right? And it's also tit for tat with this low. It's not bullish divergence. Really what we're in, if you look at it, is a trend. We're in a trend in the RSI. We have lower lows. We have lower highs. These trends typically do end with the RSI being in the oversold zone. It could end like this, but I would assume that we at least probably dwell in this area, and in this dwelling, even without going lower, the price can go lower. You know, here, for example, when we dwelled last cycle, this was the end of our bear market right here, and we did go lower. We saw a week that dropped 22% in this dwelling, and we didn't even go really that much into the oversold zone. We could definitely see it here. You know, in that time, we saw lower highs and lower lows, right? Just or even like a flat base. I mean, we could be doing something very similar. Yes, we have a lower low here already, but we really could be doing something similar to this, or completely different. I mean, one last thing. I was ready to leave the video, but just in this essence, you know, we're talking about the end of the bear market. We'll probably be talking about it for months to come because it's going to be a topic. I mean, even going into like, I would expect that the bear market ends within the next 3 months. It might even end in August. It might end within the next like 45 days. The low is in. But even once the low is in, we're going to be talking about it for the next year. There's going to be people who doubt that the bear market's over. We're going to be talking about it for the next year. So you look at this last bear market, how it ended, right? You saw a bang, and then you whimpered for a while. You're consolidating. You ended with a bang and a whimper, right? This low area, just the shape of it overall, it was different, completely different than what we saw back here, right? Here, you just had a massive consolidation phase. You fell off a cliff, then you consolidated, and you moved up. You didn't see lower lows. You just fell off a cliff, and that was your low. Here, when you fell off a cliff, you still saw a lower low, right? Even 2 weeks later, you saw a lower low. Here, once you hit the low, that was it, and then you moved up, right? The prior cycle to that, we had a double bottom. We had a massive drop. We fell off a cliff, and then we consolidated, massive pump, massive volatility, got a higher high. We even got a higher high, and then we still came down, and we saw a lower low. Well, on the index, we saw a lower low. Some exchanges show a double bottom. Whatever. It was a double bottom. It was, you know, lower low, higher low, double bottom. That's what it was. We didn't have a double bottom last cycle. We didn't have a double bottom the cycle before. And then this bear market, if you want to call that a bear market, we did have a double bottom, but still completely different and a lot shorter than any other bear market. All I'm getting at is no bear market looks the exact same. Time wise, they're kind of similar, except for the very first one, if you can call that a bear market. That was before the halving, I don't know. But the odds are what's probably going to happen is that everybody is going to compare this bear market to this bear market, right? This bear market finale to this bear market finale. That's what's happened every single cycle. Everybody tries to compare it to something from before. Um, it'll likely be its own thing. This is our 1, 2, 3. In my opinion, it's our fourth bear market. I don't actually think this was a bear market. I think this was a correction in what was our actual first super cycle. I think Bitcoin had a super cycle, and it was from 2010. I guess that's not even really a super cycle, is it? I mean, that's 2010 to 2014, 2013, late 2009 to late 2013. That is a full 4 years right there. But the 4 year cycle includes the bear market. So yeah, that would be the first super bull cycle. The reason why is, again, because we didn't have the first halving until November 2012. The very first halving was here. And then that generated all the cyclicality from there. Anyways, not including this as your first bear market, we're on our fourth bear market, or maybe we're on our fifth bear market. That's such a small amount of iterations that this can be a completely unique formation, and I think it already is. I think it really already is something that's unique, that's different than the last bear market already. Every time that we found resistance, right, whenever we broke below this point of support, we came back. We actually didn't even interact with that area of support. Whenever we broke below this point of support, whenever we came back, we didn't actually interact. We got very close, but we didn't actually touch that level. Once we started touching that level, that's when we were in a bull market, right? So here we've already interacted with our past areas of support. We've actually gone through them. Here we already have a lower low and this kind of dynamic, and we're projected to go lower, where here when we had our lower low, we were at the end. So it's different, I think. Volume picked up, volume hasn't picked up, I don't know. RSI is in a downtrend. This one was in a downtrend, but this is a more broad downtrend. The monthly time frame, we've got lower lows, right? We're probably going to get down to our oversold zone. I mean, I would very much expect that the RSI here in the monthly time frame does get down to this oversold area, if not very, very close. So I think we have a little bit lower to go. Again, this RSI, it likes to trend, guys. It's a trending thing. It really is. These trend lines don't help you in price, but they do help in the RSI most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. I could really see us going just a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Right down to this area of the wicks down here. Upper 40Ks, lower 50Ks. Here we are at 62K. I don't think the bear market's over yet. And when it is over, everybody is going to doubt that it's over. Right now, there's a lot of people calling for the bear market to be over. That's not how bear markets end. Not in my experience, at least. This is my fourth bear market, so not in my experience. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Hit that like button, subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.